Hello, everyone. This is Carla from Rayhan's World of Connections, and I am here to speak to the amazing Gulam Zainab, who is going to tell me which name to use for her. But she is a doctor in Pakistan. In fact, she's a gynecologist, and I'm really anxious to get to know her better. She's been coming to my English show and talking to me, but I kind of thought it would be nice to talk to her directly. And I want to remind you that this show, like all of my shows, is supported or sponsored by the Institute of Peace, which is an online organization creating peace one conversation at a time. And with no further ado, Gulam, could you please introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Ghulam Zainab. I am 35-year-old. I am doctor by profession. I started my early education in a city, Sargodha, and I completed my FSc there. And after entering into a medical college, that is Qaid Azam Medical College, Bahawalpur, I completed my graduation. And after doing my MBBS in 2009-10, I started my house job. And at that time, during my house job, I decided to become a gynecologist, and the journey start from that point. In 2012, I passed my public service commission exam and selected as women medical officer, and as well as I started my training residency in gynae department here in Bahawalpur, and I completed my 4 years of residency, and I passed the exam of specialization in gynae and obs in 2017. And as well as I was doing my job as well as women medical officer since 2012, and still I am practicing as a senior registrar in government department in gynae department, and I am running my private clinic as well, that is known as Zainab Subfertility Clinic. My passion is to become a top subfertility specialist in the world.
Okay, let's go back a little. You said you were you born in Sargodha, or where were you
Yes,
born?
yes, I was born in Sargodha, the city
Okay.
of Pakistan.
Who is going to, and did you go, are your parents still in Sargodha, or are you living with your husband in Bahawalpur?
I am living with my husband and with my own mother in Bahawalpur.
Okay, so you don't have your sisters and brothers and everyone there.
I have, I have three sisters and one brother. But due to my tough job and before marriage, I decided to live with my mother because my father died when I was in class 8th, and behind my all education, behind all my struggle, the main supporting hand was my mother. And I want to uh, after after marriage, I counseled my mother to live with me because all my sisters and brother are married, and they are settled. So I I am in Bahawalpur since from last many years with my mother and my family as well.
What inspired you to live to become a doctor?
Mm, I was in class 10th when my one of my cousin sent me a letter, and he was very much inspired because in our family most of the people were a teacher or in army or in armed forces. So from the very beginning, my father was very much enthusiastic about my studies and my higher studies. But to become a doctor, that was first come to my mind when my cousin came to me and he said that one of our family members should be doctor because we have no doctor in our family and we need it.
And what did your father do?
He was teacher and he was very educated man. He has spent most of his life in learning and in teaching. When I saw him, he was always using time to study and to give teaching to all the people. And I remember from my class 1 till my class 8, when I came back from school, he used to teach me all my subject individually, except English. My elder sister used to teach me English subject because my father don't know English, but Arabic, Persian, Urdu, math, Islamiyat, all the subject, all the other subjects, my father used to teach me in evening as
Oh,
my home tutor.
and what language did he speak?
Punjabi and Urdu.
Okay, so you learned everything from your father in both languages, or how many languages do you speak?
Yes, I learned Persian language and Arabic language from my father, Urdu as well. And it was an optional subject in our 6th, 7th, and 8th class that if we want to read, if we want to study home economics or we want to study Arabic or Persian. So my father told me that if you will learn in Persian or in Arabic, in Persian especially, so you will know Iqbal, that is our national poet.
Yeah.
So he influenced me to learn Persian so that you may know Iqbal.
Now, why would he want you to know Persian? Was he from Persia?
No. Our national poet, Allama Muhammad Iqbal, has most of the poetry
Oh,
in
okay.
Persian as well. And most of the Urdu words are made from Persian language.
Oh,
Basically,
really?
yes, Persian and Arabic language. Urdu is a mixture of different languages, and most of the word came from Persian, Turkish, and Arabian words.
I didn't know that. That's
Yes,
very
Urdu is not a separate language; it is a mixture of different languages.
that I knew.
And yes, and most of the words came from Persian language and Arabic language as well.
Wow. So you speak 4 or 5 languages?
Urdu,
Urdu,
English,
English,
English, Arabic,
Arabic, yeah.
Persian, and Punjabi, and Saraiki. Here I am living in Bahawalpur, and these people are from Saraiki belt, and Saraiki is somewhat different from Punjabi.
Now, do you speak fluent in all these languages?
Mm, I am fluent in Urdu, English, Punjabi, and Saraiki. But as you know, we don't speak Arabic and Persian routinely. So I am not fluent in Arabic or Persian, but I can understand little bit when I came across with these people.
Wow, I'm amazed. Now, I'm still trying to understand something that you said. I thought your national poet would be from Pakistan, but you're telling me he speaks Persian and spoke in Persian. Most of his poetry is in Persian.
Yes.
How is he? Did he live in Pakistan or no? or not?
It was a time when Pakistan was not made, and he saw the dream of Pakistan. He died before Pakistan came into the map of this world.
Oh, okay.
Yes, he was from India,
Okay.
combined India, when Pakistan did not came into the. In 1930, Pakistan came into the map of the world in 1947, and he saw the dream of Pakistan in 1930.
Oh, wow.
Yes, he was the basic dreamer of Pakistan, our national poet.
So he must be thrilled, or he would be thrilled to know that Pakistan is now a country of its own. Did he call it Pakistan?
Yes, the name was suggested before that, and he was very his poetry is very inspirational for all our nation. If we understand it, but it is in very difficult uh, language. I mean, it pure Urdu. Today, our children don't know the pure Urdu. They got having mixed type of Urdu, having multiple words of English in it. So to
Yeah,
learn pure Urdu, we have to learn Iqbal poetry, and it is very difficult poetry. It is not like simple that of the words or things. And to understand the poetry of Iqbal, you basically have the theme of Rumi as well. He was the student of Rumi. Iqbal was student of Rumi, and in his poetry we see
oh,
different glimpse of Rumi.
I love Rumi. I'm not very familiar with the poet that you're talking about, though. Um, but Rumi, I love.
Yes,
Okay.
and
Now,
in Iqbal poetry there are multiple explanations and descriptions of the Rumi's saying as well.
oh, really?
Yes.
Are any of Iqbal's poems or books in English also, or are they all in Persian and Urdu? And
English translations are there, mm, and English translations of Iqbal's poetry are there, and I will search and I will send you link.
yeah, I would like to see it because I keep on hearing about it, but I know nothing about it.
Yes, I will send you.
And I know there's a day that you guys celebrate his birthday, correct?
Yes, yes, of course.
Now, I want to ask you, I haven't seen you for a few days. Where have you been?
Yeah. I was busy in my duties. I was having a trip last week in for Islamabad, and I was on vacations from the last 6 days.
Oh,
From
okay.
So after coming back to Bahawalpur, I was busy in duties. Even on 6th February, our local holiday, I was on duty.
Okay, now you told me that you just said recently in our conversation that you have your own clinic, you work at a hospital.
Yes.
How do you handle all of that? Because working in a hospital can be very demanding, especially when you're working in excuse me, gynecology.
Yes, I have my clinic from the last 2 years. During my residency or specialization, I was doing only my duties, but now I manage my time. I have a duty from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. in gynae department, and after 2 p.m. I used to take rest, lunch break, and little bit rest for 2 hours, and after that I start my clinic. for 3 to 4 hours, and I am happy with it because it is my passion. I can't sit free. I used to be busy in my work, and I am happy with that. I am very happy.
Okay, when you I understand you're busy, but you also have a family. You're married, correct?
Yes, I am married.
And what does your husband do?
My husband is child specialist. He's also a doctor, and he is child specialist.
How did you meet him?
I I did not meet him. It was totally an arranged marriage.
Oh, okay.
After doing my MBBS in Bahawalpur, I went to my basic hometown, Sargoda, and I started my job there in 2011. And at that time, my mother was very, like all mothers, she want to get me married. And I told my mother that I will marry only with that person who will accept you with me, who will accept this my this wish that my mother will live with me. And the proposal came with some with some link, and this proposal came, and I frankly tell this thing to this guy that I have to live with my mother. If you are happy with it, then I am happy with you.
And what did he say?
He said, okay, I have no objection. He said, my mother is not alive. His death make me very sorrow, and I will feel that my mother is with me as your mother. So I will keep your mother as my mother, just like that of my mother with
Oh.
me.
Now, do you live with his mom too?
Sorry.
Does his mom live with you also?
His mom died 1 year before my marriage.
Oh,
Yes. That's why he said me that your mom is like just like my mom.
got it.
Yes.
And how long have you been married?
From the last 7 years, I in 2013 I got married.
Wow,
2013.
7 years. And
7 years.
and how
And I
old are
have
you?
two.
You will also have children. I don't know how you do it all.
I have two sons.
How old are they?
The elder one is 5 year old, and the youngest one is 2 year old.
And how are they doing?
The elder one is going to school in class nursery,
Wonderful.
and yes, and he's very creative and very artistic.
Now, are you artistic or did that come from your husband's side?
I am. I have very more. I am very much artistic. I have very keen interest in my childhood. I was having very keen interest in drawing and in painting and in all that stuff.
So, do you still paint and draw? Don't tell me you do that every day because
No. I don't do that. But now with my kid, with my son, I used to draw. I used to give him different drawing to color it. And I remember when I was small, like him, when I was 5, 6 year old, I used to draw things like that.
wow. What about your younger son? How old is he? He's 3, right?
He is two,
Oh, does
two
he
year
like
old.
drawing or scribbling would be more like it at that age?
he is more visual. He used to see TV more interestingly, like a visual baby. He used to watch TV and cartoons and different poems on TV.
How nice.
Yes,
Now, your work, you got inspired when you were a teenager.
yes,
Do you like sciences and all of that?
yes. I like sciences. Actually, I was topper of my class, topper of my class, and my teacher, my teacher told my mother that your daughter can become a doctor if you uh, support her. And then my mother and decided to continue my education in science subjects.
So, was your father dead at that point, or was he still alive?
No, he was not there when I started science subjects in metric. He died when I was in class 8th.
How does that work? When you're in class 8, how old are you in Pakistan?
I was 13 and a half year old, 13-year-old only.
So, your dad died when you were in class 8, or you started your interest in medical school when you were in class 8?
When I was in class 8th.
You,
I was not having this that I will join science studies in future or not. I was not old at that time, old enough to decide.
okay. Talking about your medical school, where did you go to medical school?
In Bahawalpur, there is Qaid-e-Azam Medical College. That is one of the famous medical college of Pakistan, and it is on the name of our leader, our founder of Pakistan, Qaid-e-Azam Medical College.
What is the name?
Qaid-e-Azam. Muhammad Ali Jinnah was our founder, was our great, national hero, and was founder of Pakistan. So we used to title him as Qaid-e-Azam.
Oh, how cool. I didn't
Yes.
know that. Now, you're saying it's a famous school in Pakistan. Is it one of the top medical schools?
Yes, it is one of the top medical schools in Pakistan.
So you need to be really smart to get in.
I was lucky that from the start of my journey, from the start of my education till now, I have, I don't know, but I have, legendary people, great teachers with me, and I can't imagine this thing that without proper guidance, without good teacher, you can't become anything. You need good teacher at every step of your life. And I am lucky that I have great teachers with me till now.
Well, teachers are your guides.
Yes.
You know, I'm very thankful for some of my teachers. Who was the teacher who inspired you to go into science and medicine? You remember that teacher?
Yes, yes. We have one class teacher in 6th, 7th, and 8th, and her name was Safia Umar, Madam Safia Umar. And she was a great lady, and I remember that in class of 80 students, uh, more than 80 students. She she know even my moods. I remember she said me that, Zainab, you are not in good mood today. Why you are so sad? What happened to you?
And you told her.
Yes.
That's a really wonderful story.
Just like mothers. Yeah, our teachers were just like our mothers. They bother each and everything for us.
That's amazing. But
Yes.
they are. Teachers are so important to our lives, and people don't. I
Yes.
wish people realize how important a teacher is.
Yes.
I don't think we could really pay a teacher enough, and yet they're paid so little.
Yes. We can't pay.
Now, let's get into your passion now. What is your big passion?
Yes, my big passion is to improve reproductive health of my population and to decrease maternal mortality. You know what? One of the goal in my life, basic goal in my life, is to decrease maternal mortality. As I know that in our population, most of the females died during delivery of a child due to
Really?
any complication. Yes, due to any complication. Even I have seen many of the females during my this career, and I have skilled knowledge, and I can participate, and I can reduce this maternal mortality, and I can improve this reproductive health of the female through education, through my giving my services. And I am, alhamdulillah, I am doing this with full passion, with full of my energy.
Now, I know that in this country, there has been a lot of research and advancement to keep mothers having children from dying. Why why isn't that happening in Pakistan yet?
In fact, the basic problem in our area is education. Due to lack of education, female population don't know their health status and their rights, and due to poverty as well. I am living in Bahawalpur, and it 70 or 80 villages that drained by Bahawalpur, and people came from 70 or 80 villages near about, and female population that came to us, most of them are in critical condition because health services in village areas, in remote areas, are not that good that is in the main cities. And when these females came to us, they pass most of the time, and they are in critical condition.
But why do you think, when there's so much research now on that, why hasn't that research reached Pakistan yet?
It is going to be reached in Pakistan, but in the main cities where
Oh, okay.
there are facilities. But in our village population, in our urban population, people don't know anything regarding their education, regarding their health.
Oh, okay. Now I understand it. So you're talking mainly in the remote areas, these
Yes, yes,
problems are existing. Do you go to remote areas and talk to the women at all?
yes. We have our medical camps in remote areas, and we used to go there, and we used to educate people and women, and used to give them health tips. And in Bahawalpur, now there is nearby there is Cholistan, that is a desert area.
There's a desert area in Pakistan.
Yes, yes, that is known as Cholistan. And
I
it is
didn't
very
know.
near to Bahawalpur.
Do you go there and talk to the women there at all?
Yes, I go there and I talk to the women there.
And are the women open to listening to you?
Yes, because there is no language barrier. When I came there, I don't know about their language. That is Seraiki, basically Seraiki language. It is little bit different from Punjabi, but I learned this language, and now I am very easy to communicate with these people, and they used to listen and they used to understand what I am telling them.
That's really wonderful. I'm glad to hear that. It makes me, feel like Pakistan is moving forward. Um,
Yes.
how is that? What made you passionate about helping women? I mean, I can think of reasons why you would do it, but I do. I want you to tell the audience.
Yes, from as I have said, from my teachers, from my seniors, and from all the things happening around me. When I was in house job, I see the women coming in very miserable condition and in very critical condition, and I thought that if a skilled person can't help them, then who can help them? We are the basic commanders of our situation. If doctor can't help a patient, then who can help her or him? And inspiration was from my father, when he used to told me the stories of different female female stories, that how you can help different people. I remember that once I saw a dream, and when I wake up in the morning, I told my father that I saw a very different dream. I was only 9 or 10 year old, and my father told me the story of Malika Zubaida. Do you know Malika Zubaida?
No, who is that?
She was a queen, and she was very famous in Islamic history. She was very famous, and my father told me the story of this Queen Zubaida, that once she saw a dream, and she sent her kaneez, or her subordinate, to some knowledgeable, or some a person that can give the what happened to the dream, the reality of the dream. And when her kaneez or subordinate came to there to some religious person to tell him about the dream, he said that send the person who saw the dream. And then this queen came there, and the dream was that every creature of the god, like birds, like animals, like human beings, are going to having uh, bad things with that queen, like sex, like things. And this queen was very upset with this dream, but uh, the reality of the dream was that the queen will be benefited by all the animals, all the birds, all the human beings. And at the end, the Queen Zubaida made a water canal from Iraq to Medina Munawwara, and from where this water goes, all the birds, all the animals, all the human beings take this water for their usage and benefit it. Can you get my point?
Yeah.
And this water canal was very expensive. At that time, water was the major issue of that area. that people don't have, even birds and animals don't have water to drink. And this Queen Zubeda made this canal with a very expensive budget. And till now, I have seen this some of its remnants in Medina Munawwara. It is closed now, but some of remnants are there. And for many years, all the creatures got benefited from this water that started from Queen Zubeda. And my father told me that you are my special child, and you will see the time when people will get benefited from you, and you will serve the humanity. And it was the dream of my father.
Wow. So of course that's going to be important to you. How
Yes, we
beautiful.
have a very strong spiritual connection uh, with ourselves. And I remember that after 7 years, I was born. I have two elder sisters and one brother. And my mother was finished with these three children, and she said that no more children to my father. And after 7 years, when I born, my mother was not happy at all because my father wished to have a son, one more son, and I was born. But my mother told me that your father encourages me and told me that I have seen the fortune of this child, and she will behave like a son. She will give you all the comforts. She will support you. In the end, you will be happy that you have a daughter just like a son.
How beautiful.
Yes, and
Unfortunately, I need to end this because I'm supposed to be reading the Quran with Kosa Rizar now. Do you have any words of wisdom that you want to leave everyone with?
yes, I want to say that when you are on the way to the God, then God is with you. And once you serve the creatures, serve the humanity, serve the people, serve the mankind of this, and once you serve them, then you will feel the spiritual power in yourself. And that spiritual power can't be stolen. And you will feel different when you serve the humanity, when you serve the people, and when you serve without any intention, without any greediness, without any intention, bad intention. When you serve the people with good intention, God is with you, and you have spiritual power in yourself to do more and more and more. And this power came from Almighty Allah. And you can feel this power when you are on the way.
How beautiful. I want to thank you for coming and talking to me
Thank you
because
so much.
this has been very inspiring to me.
Thank you
And
so
I
much.
want to thank everyone who came and watched. And I will be back. Actually, I have several things still going on this evening, including the Quran reading. But I
Okay.
really feel honored that you would spend this time with me.
I
And,
am very thankful to you. you,
and with
you,
that, I want to thank the Institute of Peace for sponsoring this. And remember, the purpose of the Institute of Peace is to promote peace with one conversation at a time as we begin to realize that we are no different from each other. We may have some culture
yes.
differences, but deep down, we're very much alike. And with that, I am going to end this show. Thank you
Thank you so much.
so very much. and we'll go out waving and laughing.